up, guys? How are you? Thanks for having us in here.
Yeah, of course.
Good to be here.
Yeah, my first podcast. We gotta get the jitters out first, but
Yeah, it might take a minute, but we'll be good.
For sure. We're here in Halftime Pizza, historic Boston pizza joint, right across from the Boston Garden. We'll just kind of get right into it, Wags. Stino and Matt, you guys are third generation owners of this place, right?
yeah,
Correct.
yep. Grandfather started it way back in what used to be called the Combat Zone, like where like Downtown Crossing is now. Long story short, they kind of started pushing people out of there just because like all the crime and bad behavior that was going on. If you kind of know about that area, so then long story short, relocated here, which used to be called Valenti's Pizza. My dad took over that, and then that's where he kind of just in like the early '80s changed it from Valenti's to Halftime. Because of the name with the garden being right there and stuff like that. So ever since we've been Halftime.
Hell yeah. What year did you guys move over here? Because I know that my old man used to go to school in Boston, and he would always, talk about coming here before and after Celtics games, back in the 80s.
Yeah, so I think it was 81 my dad came over, and then by 83, he just thought maybe Halftime kind of stood. So ever since about 83, I think COVID was, if my math's right, like 40-year anniversary or 30-year anniversary from when they switched over. So, yeah, it's been I guess the pregame staple, since me and him were running around, I guess in diapers.
Not even as high as these tables right here. I mean, we were running around here and shoulder to shoulder still, and you look at it now, it's still shoulder to shoulder on game night. It's like nothing's changed.
When you guys were growing up, was it like always, the plan for you to take it over eventually?
I've always had that kind of I don't even know the right word, but I've always kind of had that feeling that at least me, I wanted to be a part of it. I'm not sure about Justino really,
yeah.
but
To be honest, I know just growing up, we used to come in, separate plates, filling up the sodas. That's kind of all we used to know from just being so little, seeing our dad, family. My dad's two sisters, they were involved. We used to, and then our cousins would come in, almost every game day, and helping. But, we just always had a passion for the restaurant business. I'm more someone that, I can't really sit behind the desk. I get like the attention span of a squirrel. So, us running around and stuff like that, just restaurants. So it was just seemed like it was always in the blood, I guess, if you put it like that.
I could tell you a funny story. His older cousin and I, childhood best of friends, and being little kids, like he said, his aunt Rita.
I have to put it a little closer to you.
His aunt Rita, she used to take us here for games, and there used to be a bar actually back over here.
Okay.
And like me and his cousin, we would like run around. We'd try to sneak downstairs and go check out his dad's office. Being like a little kid, 5th, 6th, 7th grade, and just the memories of coming here and sitting at that bar back there, eating a slice, getting escorted to the Celtics, Bruins games, and then coming back after. Like childhood, being his older cousin and all of our closest friends coming in. It was awesome.
How did you get involved with the restaurant, Lou?
We go back to our
He
families.
was actually my first boss.
Yeah, we go back, like I said, his older cousin and I, childhood best friends. His aunt, basically Rita, raised me. His aunt Nancy, I was always around. His cousin Frankie, just all of us growing up in the city of Revere and all living like in the same mile radius. Childhood best friends. His dad, always used to go to him for advice. His dad is one of a kind, a legend in the pizza business.
We should probably get him maybe on the pod.
To have him,
He'd be
on
fun.
this
sequel.
podcast
Yeah.
and get him going and me going together could be epic actually. But yeah, childhood for years. That's about it.
What did the evolution of this place visually, like how does that work? Is there certain things like staples in here that have been here forever, and then other things that have come and gone, like this mural? Or
so for one thing, obviously, like Luigi already mentioned, we had the bar over there before. That's come and gone at this point. But for a lot of it, it's the pictures on the ceiling. They were the biggest staple. They've always been here. We've kept kind of the more iconic ones and brought in some new ones. And then this mural to our left right here as well. That's been here, I think, almost over 10 years now.
Yeah, the murals, and then definitely, we're known for our big, tall 32-ounce beers.
Yeah.
Our big slices, those always kind of have been our, really the halftime staple for, like I said, before a game, post-game, win or loss. People are always coming in, crushing beers, eating the big slices.
And most importantly, too, is Bruins games, the fights, the old school fights
Yeah.
on the TVs. People still come in to this day asking for it.
Yeah.
We make sure we get them on all the TVs. People
Right
love
before
that.
the game, yeah, we get everyone fired up, right before.
We have the loudspeaker microphone. We call out names and orders. Some people jump on it and they'll scream "Go Bruins," stuff like that. Just the whole atmosphere before the game. It's like the pregame before the game.
Yeah.
It's the spot to be. I would definitely recommend anybody in the area just even watch the game here. Now we're starting to get into that to do
Yeah,
like
we
some
just
kind of
got some
viewings.
bigger new TVs now, so that's something we've been trying to push. Is like instead of people coming right before the game, we're trying to get like a little fan base crowd, come join us to watch the games and stuff like that.
Our lineup this week: Thursday we have a Bruins game. Friday, season opener for the Celtics,
Yeah.
and Miami's in town. Like Miami, but Celtics where it's at, and then after that is another Bruins game. So all weekend long we'll be cranking large beers, slices. We got to double check, make sure we have plenty of kegs downstairs. We got to
Yeah.
check that order with our rep. But I definitely recommend anybody before a Bruins or Celtics game just come and check out the scene.
How do you prepare for a big weekend when there's 3 Boston sports events and a concert on Sunday? What do you guys kind of expect?
There's a lot that goes into
There's
it.
a lot of dough to be made. We do all of our stuff in house, so we got guys coming in. One of our biggest staples, his name's Jamel. He's the man.
Shout out to Jamel.
He's the man behind the scenes. He's making sure we get enough dough. You said, we have a Celtics Bruins game back to back. We got concerts. So we're always just depending on the schedule. The Garden, granted for us, it's good that they kind of put out like the year events. So we kind of like a good idea what we're running into. We just came off like a 11 out of 12 day just stretch of. It was mixed with Bruins concerts. Dave Chappelle was here and stuff like that. So
Let's not forget about the pub crawl. Last year there was a pub crawl that kind of snuck up on us unannounced, and we all looked at each other like about 10:30 in the morning. The line was out the door. None of us expected it. Of course, we handled it. The day went great, but we have a pub crawl coming up, and then there's the Halloween one the following week. So that goes all in the mix with the events, and like you said, the concerts. And the jitters, we start running around, our texts back and forth. He could be downstairs, he could be upstairs, and we're all texting each other back and forth. Goldie, his dad, he said to bring 2 more doughs up, get the sauce from downstairs, make sure there's plenty of chicken cut, plenty of sausage cut, just nonstop. And we're like big family together, so like we can yell at each other up and down the stairs, yell at each other on the phone. But we get it all done, and everyone knows their position and what to do. We can
I
be
just think
anywhere,
the
anytime.
big thing that my dad, his sisters, and cousins over the years is they were really good at creating like a really good system. Because I can't really think of any other place that can just really push out pizzas and slices so quick. As the short time window frame that we have. I mean, we usually have like an hour and a half, 2 hour window of. When people are coming in, last minute trying to get a little bite, there's overflow everywhere, bringing the kids in. And, I think the system that they create is I think is really the big key to this operation.
So you guys say that you have a great system in place, but I've been in here before when it's pretty unruly. What's that like when kids are coming here drunk after the Bruins game? How are you handling it?
So that's the one thing that it's definitely tough that we got to deal with. Is fortunate enough we don't have the full liquor, so we're not dealing with people ripping shots before the game. It's just more kind of like the younger crowd we got to watch out for. The kids bringing in their backpacks, they're trying to sneak in that 12-pack. Getting all fired up before a Bruins game. And then there's those ones that feeling themselves. Got the fake IDs. I got a massive collection downstairs of how many. I'm just we're just like hawks. We gotta. That's like the key to the business. We really can't really mess with any of that stuff. So that's that's just the big liability we have. And then we have some stories on stories of chasing people outside with beers. I got a splash, a few people just throwing the beers at us because that's the issue. I mean, I wish we were like Vegas. You can just take your beer, walk around, have a good old time. But some people get a little too drunk. Thinking since they bought the beer, they can walk outside with it. So I got a couple career beers all over my face.
For example, over the weekend, and a shout out to our good friend Paul Cook. He's always here for the events, and so a guy tried to run out a couple times over the weekend with a beer, and Paul Cook held his ground until the guy threw the beer up in the air, hit him, hit me, and then the guy was running out and tried to spit on Paul and ended up hitting me. And then customers who love us and they're here all the time, they know we deal with it, so they try to jump in, and then it couldn't go to an
Yeah.
altercation, but obviously
Yeah.
we de-escalate and keep it
Yeah,
on
we
the ground.
try really not to let it get to that point because I mean, you know,
Always
that's one
always
thing. But
de-escalating.
you know, I will say we just get a handful of here and there. You know, those people, you know, like I said, failing themselves a little too much to drink, and unfortunately we got to deal with it. But you know, it's part of the business. You know, we have some fun with it sometimes, but sometimes it's just like it's headaches.
There was one time I remember being here, and I was like after a Bruins or a Celtics game probably, and I saw somebody walking out with a beer, and I know this is, you know, a big problem for you guys. So I go, hey, Luigi, he's walking out with a beer. And then you go fucking get him. So I run after the
Meanwhile,
kid.
you're about 9 or 10 beers deep yourself after the game.
Yeah.
So
It's
I,
always good to see you when you come in after a game. I love it.
so I go over to the kid, and I grab him by the back of the shirt, and I said, hey, you can't do that. And then
Yeah.
right afterwards, you were there, and I stopped him for you guys.
Yeah,
Local hero.
All of our friends, family, like you said, we all grew up together, and they always come by for games, and they hear the stories, and we talk about it, because when we go home and wind down, it's, you know, sometimes 2:30 in the morning. He'll smoke a little marijuana, maybe call me, and we talk, and we go over it, and it just carries on. Then all of us, our friends and our family, they hear us like telling the stories, and they look at us sometimes like, that really happened? But like, yeah, you can't make this up. Like, we could film a movie sometimes with it. But
yeah.
Are there any like you could think of like from all time, you know, that just off the top of your head?
I kind of
Guy snuck downstairs in the bathroom trying to take a shower. Or the girl that fell asleep on the sofa.
This story was crazy. Luke and I'll let Matt talk after, but this story is I ended the night like midnight-ish, 1 a.m. I see like these two guys. I was going downstairs to get whatever it was, and like I thought they were our guys, like workers, whatever, downstairs, and like I see them. You know, I realize it's not them, so I get downstairs and I'm just like, guys, like what's going on here? One guy's like deer in headlights. Another dude, I'm not kidding you, this dude was like 6'6", like he was an absolute unit. That's like I'm trying to press him a little bit, like, yo, get lost, like you guys are trespassing. Long story short, you know,
Wait, not to interrupt, but the guy, I was literally changing soda, the syrup on the soda downstairs. The guy was so tall that I couldn't even see him yelling at the guy. So now we have our tech guy with the music playing, so you can't really hear that well. And I just looking at the back of this guy, I'm like, all right, he's not with me, he's not with Skeets, he's not with Stino. Who is this guy? And then finally I like move my head and I can see him talking to the guy. And then he can carry on to what happened after.
So then I get them upstairs, I'm yelling like, get lost, you know, can't be coming down here, like stuff like that. You know, we have this like back door with like, it's literally like the tiniest like peep window like you'll ever see. We throw them out the back door. You know, it's this glass window with all like wires and stuff. You know, I'm still barking at this guy, yelling. Long story short, you know, the door shuts, and I have it on video. Like I've never seen a harder punch in my entire life. I'd still be sleeping right now if it hit me or whatever.
We both would. If that punch hits anybody, I would have been eaten out of a straw.
You can see me in the
MGH
video,
for
just
3
like
months.
move my head. His punch went through the full entire glass, wired everything, and like up French Street. I just never seen like the dude might have lost his hand. Like I've never seen so much blood. It was just, you know, it's just one story that just, you know.
And the best is
that's
we're
always
telling
stood.
his dad what happened, and we got his dad on speakerphone. The first thing his father goes, he goes, there's metal wire in that glass. And we're like, exactly, we know. So his hand went through that window, took out a corner of the window,
it was crazy.
through the wire. He went like in a second like this, and I just jumped back. That punch was the money shot. That was the
I'd be
Floyd
still-
Mayweather money shot.
I'd still be
Lights
sleeping.
out. It's gone. Both of us toast.
It's the
86
Emiliano
of 'em.
Vargas.
That's what Ngannou's gonna have against Fury this weekend.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah, exactly.
That's wild.
I got one story because I'm not usually here at night. Honestly, I'm here in the mornings all the time.
Tell them why you're not here at night.
Yeah,
Well,
we'll get into that
one
Yeah,
after.
we'll get
but
into that.
I'm always here in the morning holding it down. But for the most part, you know, I've had to do my fair share of nights. You know, whether somebody's away, someone's not feeling well or something. And there was one night specifically. It was Super Bowl Sunday. There was early Celtics game that day, so the area is pretty busy still. You two were away at the time.
Oh yeah.
It was the year you guys went away.
Yep.
And I remember, I think I was on the phone with Lou. And he's like, oh, you know, how's everything going, blah, blah, blah. It's like 11:30 at night at this point. And these two girls are fighting over whose pizza got called out. And they didn't even listen to their name. The girls, you know, calling, you know, you're a dumb bitch, blah, blah, blah. And I'm on the phone with Luigi. And I'm like holding my arms out in between them because they're at this point now trying to catfight each other, like swinging at each other, everything. I'm like, Lou, let me call you right back quick. And basically, long story short, the girl who was calling the other girl a dumb bitch or whatever, it wasn't even her pizza. So the other girl's like, oh yeah, you're a dumb bitch, like blah blah blah, like it was my pizza the whole time. Like they were just going off at each other, and then this one girl literally almost took off. I seen her go to take off her shoe, and she went to go start to throw it across the restaurant at this girl, and I just had to stop her. I was like, look, I was like, I'll take care of it. And I went over to the other girl. I go, eat your pizza and shut up, and then get the fuck out, because I'm not having you guys fucking do this anymore.
Yeah,
And
we got some characters that come around this area.
That's crazy.
I mean, the good people that come around here definitely outweigh the pains in the
Yeah,
asses,
no,
right?
don't get me wrong. We get these. We have so many, good, nice families. Our favorite part, honestly, is the kids that come in for their first Celtics or Bruins game. So we do get a lot of great crowds and stuff like that. But like anything else, there is some good with the bad, I guess.
Like just like he mentioned, like the families and stuff that come in, like it's adorable. We have like a guy, with his wife and their newborn son, maybe a couple kids, and they come in and they have their Bruins or Celtics jerseys on, and I'm like, hey, get them a dipping mini melt ice cream, give it to them, makes their day.
Yeah.
Like that puts a
Yeah.
smile on my face, his
Yeah.
face. It's great. It's great.
Lose for the kids.
Is that something just generational? It was kind of always a standard. You just take
Yeah.
care of people and
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
always how we were just brought up, from our families and stuff like that. I mean, they
Especially-
can say the same thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially our Aunt Rita. She was always like, trying to make the kids, give them a bag of chips, give them a soda.
Yeah.
How you doing? Is this your
And then
first,
my dad's yelling in the background, but it's out of all love. He's one of a kind. I mean, he's the first one, to give the world whatever it is. But that's one thing. We try to have the brand go by. Is we really never want to say no. And we try to go above and beyond for whatever we can.
Yeah, I mean, we've had extra sports cards that see a little kid.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite player? Give them 5-6 sports cards of that player or something like that.
Yeah.
So just little things.
That's awesome. I mean, you guys just mentioned the sports cards, so let's touch upon that.
Yeah.
I mean, we like having hustlers on our show, just
Yeah, yeah.
entrepreneurs. So you guys, are running this brick and mortar pizza store, but tell us a little bit about the sports cards and how you're making money on that.
Yeah, so COVID, well, I mean, I guess like anyone else, I mean, we were obsessed with Pokemon when we were little. I mean, I've been an avid sports, fan my whole entire life. And I guess like anyone else, just remember baseball cards from like way back. And, our dad was big into it, and obviously COVID hit. There was really nothing else to do, and it just seemed like everyone started like digging up, maybe cleaning out their house, finding some old, belongings. And then, sports cards came into place where, our dad dug out our old collections, his collections. And we kind of just started like, looking back into it. The whole market just changed, with, they're making just, super, super limited cards. And, me and him, we kind of got into like a little breaking, for non-car collectors. It's like you pretty much open packs, for people, based off a team, division, stuff like that. And then we personally kind of transitioned from that into, building up a little collection for ourselves.
And I think that's one thing for where the sports card industry has really changed a lot is with the breaks and everything, because nobody could leave their house throughout COVID.
Yeah.
So everyone's on Instagram Live, TikTok Live, and
it's
they're
crazy,
just opening packs, going
Yeah,
nuts.
there's
and
people that are spending,
$10,000 cards.
They're spending $100 on a pack, or even $25 on a pack, and it's some of it's like life-changing money. You can pull this one-of-one LeBron James that's worth a house. And some people, a lot of more people are getting kind of hip with it. Recognizing what really is behind the longevity of the sports cards, but it's some of that stuff, and for us more, it's kind of like not even just about the money. It's kind of just cool to collect. We've always been collecting sneakers back in the day and stuff like that. But the sports cards kind of just like kind of hit a little more home because always going to Celtics games, our favorite players and stuff like that, and it's kind of just cool. We kind of just really transitioned into that side of the sports card world.
have you guys been able to like through the brand like build connections with certain athletes on the Celtics, Bruins, Boston, people in general?
Yeah, so we'll jump into what he's been up to the past few years, but more my dad's time, and I know times have changed, but Larry Bird,
Parrish,
Parrish,
McHale.
all of them. Like, you know, it was just like kind of normal for them back in the day. They would come in, you know, after a game. My dad used to have this arcade little basketball.
Tyler Sagan used to come in a lot. Too.
Sagan, yeah. So my dad used to have this basketball hoop there, and the guys would just come in and just, you know, play in like an arcade game like it was normal. They were normal people, but now, you know, I mean, times have changed. The basketball is a little more different. You know, I mean, you know, their star status is just such a like a high level right now. So we really haven't any like Celtics players coming in, but we have a little connection with a Bruins player. You know, he loves our pizza. He's a great guy. I guess shout out Swayman. You know, best goaltender, you know, in the league. You know, I'm glad he's been. You know, they're off to a hot start. I think they're
3-0
5
shutout
or
for
6-0.
Swayman last night.
Yeah,
6-0.
6-0 now. So I think he actually played too. He had a shutout.
Yeah,
which
shutout
is
3-0
good.
last night.
So, you know, we get some guys like that, you know, and then we can, you know, he's, you know, more involved with, so my dad, for the longest time, we used to give the Celtics before every game, like, we used to cater them pizzas and stuff like that. So COVID kind of turned around, long story short. You know, they were short for help, looking for like a ball boy. And when we were little, you know, our aunts used to take us over, you know, with our cousins and stuff like that. But they were kind of looking for like a full-time ball boy. You know, one of the guys that comes in all the time, he texted me. He was like, hey, you know, we're looking for some help. Any chance you want to help out? I was like, dude, I'm just too busy right now with the store and stuff like that. He's like, any close family friends? We're just wicked desperate. So I asked him was it 2 years ago?
2 years.
2 years, yeah.
about
So
2.5
I was like,
years ago now.
yo, you want to be the ball boy for the Celtics and meet like it was like Christmas? He was like, fuck. He's like, fuck yeah, let's do it. And you know, he can really dive in, you know, with all the stories and stuff like that.
Go ahead, look.
The best was us scoring those tickets courtside last year, and he had no idea we were going to be there. So me and him was sitting there right up front, like first row, and he's right there and he's ducking down. You know, he's getting the mop ready to go out. We're going Skeets. He turns around. He was like, "The fuck are you guys doing here?" Just to surprise him. But yeah, it's awesome to see him there on the court. You can see his face on TV every Celtics game. It's awesome.
So Matt, what's been your experience, you know, working over at the Celtics? Probably have had some pretty cool experiences.
Definitely some cool experiences. It's really been like it's wild. I feel like I'm used to it at this point, and then like something will happen. I'll come over. I'll be like, "Yo, Justin, you won't believe what happened." Yeah. But like, you know, it's
Oh, the shoes you brought in the other night.
yeah. I mean, there's just one thing after another. I mean, obviously each team has their own superstar. You know, may have more than the next. You know, so you look forward to maybe looking to
Why don't
see
you-
some
yeah.
teams play.
Tell like more the process, kind of like your day-to-day, you know, operations.
Yeah,
of
what
like
is
a
that?
ball boy.
What is it being the ball boy for the Celtics?
So, I mean, I got to get there just as early as the players do because obviously I have to rebound for them. So I'm there 4 hours or 3.5 hours before each game. Gotta basically, I'll do what I have to do between, you know, setting up like Gatorade carts almost. And then I go onto the court. I'm basically waiting to rebound. Once each guy goes through their routine, basically have to hang out for a little bit before they do it like their layup lines or whatever. So then once the game starts, we all each have our own role at that point. There may be, you know, a couple guys on each end with the mops. There might be someone, you know, getting their warm-ups from them when they check in and out of the game. There could be somebody behind the bench giving, you know, water and Gatorade to guys when they come in and out of the game or whatever, you know, whatever it may be. But we each have our own role. We always try to keep it different for each other. You know, maybe one game I'll be doing the mop. Maybe one game I'll be just call it a runner almost. So basically, during timeouts, they'll get their towels. And after the timeout, the runner will then collect the towels that they were just using and just pretty much bring them to the back to get cleaned. Which you're kind of standing around most of the game out besides that, but for the most part, you know, you're still right there. You're still in the, you know, like right next to the huddle, so you're right there with everyone. But it's it can vary at times.
So are you going to 41 Celtics games a year plus the playoffs?
I am preseason, 2 preseason games, so yeah, guaranteed 43 games. Obviously, the Celtics are a very good team, so
Unless he fakes being sick sometimes.
oh please. But no, it's 43 games. Home. Granted, we make it to the playoffs. We're a good team, so hopefully we can get it to more than 43.
I still don't know how he like deals with it because, I don't know, just like being so like the first year he did it, they went to the finals, the craziest thing, and like just seeing Steph and all those guys, so close up, like they're almost on like a first name basis at this point. Some of the stories he tells us, and yeah, it's just kind of, to me, it's the coolest thing I've ever.
Plus, all of us, we all grew up actually playing basketball. So basketball is like the thing that we all have in common since we were kids. As a matter of fact, he still plays on a league week. He kind of gave up. He's semi-retired.
Yeah, I destroyed my ankle like a few years ago and just never gave it back. Don't give me that look. I still give you
I had
buckets.
2 knee surgeries and I kind of gave it up like probably 8-9 years ago. But we all played basketball. Like his older cousin and me, we grew up playing basketball.
Me and him have had our fair shares in the backyard, with stuff. We just
There's a mini basketball court outside of his yard behind the pool, and it's got the scoreboard says halftime, and we go back and forth. And growing up, all those years playing basketball.
My dad was the ref.
He's yelling and screaming from the top, smoking his cigar, drinking his wine, and we were going hard. Great moments. Also, shout out Kev, helps out. One of the homies helps out.
He's another one. He's super involved in basketball.
He's playing in a semi-pro.
He
dropped like 31 points last week and the week before 31 points. So basketball hits hard for all of us.
Who are some of like the most famous people that you've had come into halftime?
All right, I have.
I have a story for you actually.
All right, let's hear it.
I want to say,
go ahead.
I don't know if this is like super famous, but like the most absolute random night ever. I think it was a playoff game, and I see this dude outside, like, just like the most absurd chains that like you will ever see. He goes into the game, and then like this. This guy is like sitting in the back of the store. Like, when the game's going, you get like a couple people, but there's just this one guy sitting in the back of the store. I'm cleaning tables. I try to talk to some customers whenever I can. And I sat, chatting with this guy. I was like, hey, like, you need anything? He isn't really ordered. He's kind of just like glued to the game. I don't know if he had big cash on the game or whatever the case was, but long story short, we started talking. He's like, oh, like, I'm here, security for like high profile celebrity. I was like, oh, we started chatting. I was like, oh, who is it? It was like Annalie Choppa. It was just so random, and I was like, "Oh, like that's dope." Like, if you guys need anything after the game, it gets crazy. Let me know. Like, could you put you guys in a private spot? Like, till the rush dies down. And next thing you know, he like grabs me, and Annalie Choppa is just casually just walking around the store with like, I'm not kidding you, like these Cuban chains that like I thought his neck was gonna break. But it's just like wicked cool kid. I don't even think he's like 21. Like. He had his own spot. He was just kind of just bullying right there and stuff like that. But that was to me the most just cool. I mean, just random.
That night
celebrity.
too, he was with his security guards, and they actually was sitting right over here. A bunch of people saw him, and everyone's got their bears in them because they were at the game. And one guy, like 3 times the size of me, he's like trying to shout out to him and go up to him. So I just try to say, sir, like, you're not seeing any fans right now. The guy gets in my face and pushes me, and I'm like, all right, this guy can crack me, and I'll get knocked out cold. And then finally his security jumped up and like pushed him aside. But yeah, like he said, the amount of jewelry he was wearing was ridiculous.
Yeah. It's like,
I got a kick out of guy walks in and he's casually telling jokes in the middle of a rush.
Oh yeah,
and he's hilarious, right? And I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh shit, that's Bill Murray, right? And he's got everyone cracking. I'm like, this guy is one of the funniest human beings of all time. So I look at him and I go, you know who that is? And he goes, I have no idea who that was. No idea. So I call his dad. And I'm like, Bill Murray was just here. He said, you should have got a picture with him. And he just looks at me and all he says is he like famous, like Adam Sandler famous? I was like, he probably taught Adam Sandler all of his jokes.
Yeah.
He's fucking Bill Murray.
Not the biggest movie guy.
He had me cracking up laughing.
Speaking, I'm going to interrupt you here because we just mentioned Adam Sandler. Remember that one time I was in here just getting a slice afternoon, and then there's this like seemingly homeless guy just in the store meandering around, and then he kind of looks strung out, like he's on some sort of drugs. And then Lou, you came up to me, and then you're like, you know who that is?
From the
who-
Water Boy, right?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Oh, the dude from the Water Boy and
Big
I
Daddy.
had a picture of us with
Yeah,
him.
we got a picture.
He was shit-faced at, probably shouldn't say that, but he was shit-faced at Sullivan's. They ended up throwing him out of there that night. But yeah, he looked a little burnt out.
He was all fired up.
What's his name?
The dude from the Water Boy.
I'm terrible
He's
with
one of the
movies.
gay guys in Big Daddy too.
Yeah, he's in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
but
he's hilarious. Yeah,
I'll figure it out after. We'll put the name up here.
Yeah, he was pretty funny. Then he came mushing over here. He attempted to buy a pizza and like threw a bunch of money on the counter, and then like it just got out of control. And he ended up said something horrible to one of the lovely bartenders at Sullivan's, and they ended up throwing him out. But he was wild, and he was yelling and screaming, kind of dancing on the tables and stuff like that. That was interesting.
Dave Portnoy came by. We were actually one of like the first ones before he really got into like the pizza reviews. Yeah, we were like one of the first few places he did. We were actually like it kind of like gets me mad because like this is like when he was doing it on Twitter, so we didn't get like the official like Instagram like Barstool review. But he came by. He was really cool. Fired up the crowd and gave us a good review too. And then Matt probably has a lot more people that he's seen.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, going down the line, just going back to being at the Celtics as well, it just relates to it. But I've seen Portnoy in one of the games, playoff games. Just I introduced myself from Halftime Pizza. We'd love to have you in here again, something like that. But there was one time actually, last season, and a certain LA team was in town. After the game, I was just doing my thing, cleaning up, getting ready to. Because we also have to help the away teams pack up. So we were doing that, and a player asked me to do a favor for him, Marcus Smart, actually.
Yeah.
So Marcus Smart asked me a quick little favor, run this to my car, no problem. Run it to his car, and I'm coming back. As I'm about to go through the doorway again, who comes through the doorway? Russell Westbrook. And he's just talking, not to me, just in general, just was walking with one of the assistant coaches. And he's like, where can I get something to eat around here that's not like what the food that they ordered in the back is? My eyes lit up. I just looked straight up. I own a pizza place across the street from here. He just looked at me. He was like, oh, like, really? Like, you got a menu I can look at or something? I gave him my phone. He was looking at the menu. He ends up putting in a decent order. And I, fortunate enough, got to bring Justino over with me.
Yeah, he calls me and he's like, special order. Westbrook wants wings. I think it was salads and pizza.
It was like a salad, a pizza.
I was like going like crazy mode. I was like we got to friggin' get this out as quick as possible and stuff. So, I met him like halfway, and I was like, screw this. Like, I'm going in somehow. Like, I'm gonna be the delivery kid.
I was like, yeah, just
bringing the
tell him
pizza.
I need extra help carrying the stuff over.
So yeah, we get through security. I mean, you can say we.
Yeah. So basically, go up, and I got to see Rui Hachimura in the hallway. A couple other guys that were leaving, but he ended up getting to see Russ, and like it was funny because I handed him the pizza. He was like, oh shit, it's still hot. Like,
yeah, I was like going through the tunnel like trying to see LeBron's back. I'm a big LeBron guy, so I'm like, fuck, we run into LeBron, be sick.
Yeah.
And then Westbrook was in this like photo booth looking thing. I don't know if he was doing like an interview. All of a sudden he just comes out and I'm just sitting there at the pizza. It's like pizza delivery, and it was just so weird because like for him it's so casual, and like just seeing them on TV all the time and just growing up being like fans of them, it's just so weird.
Would you have given LeBron a wing, one of Westbrook's wing, if you saw him?
Whatever, yeah. Yeah.
What was it like when the UFC fights were in town? Because we went to that, and we felt like it was one of the best Boston sporting events we've ever been to. What was it like preparing for one of the biggest things that's happened in forever?
So, to be honest, I mean, I'm kind of hip with the UFC, not as like much as I should be, but when the schedule came out, I think it was like 4 or 5 years. Some weird law, I think, that they couldn't fight in mass, and then they finally put the main card there, and I mean, we really didn't know what to expect from it. We thought it was gonna be definitely a super busy night, but it was a Saturday night, and just the days before, the build up was just like kind of almost felt like a Super Bowl, kind of like Sunday feeling, because like people just all around UFCs. They did the weigh-ins, they do like the interviews like out front. They were sectioned off so many parts of the this area over here, and it was just like, I mean, we kind of knew it was gonna be big, but we really didn't know it was gonna be like that kind of big, kind of deal.
And you guys were doing stuff with Nelk and Happy Dad?
Yeah. So actually, the main event was O'Malley, and like a few months before, the rep that I deal with, she's a sweetheart. She was like, hey, like, I don't want to get your hopes up too much, but the guy O'Malley, he's sponsored by Happy Dad. Like, I think I'm gonna be able to get the boys to come by, check out Happy Dad, try some pizza and stuff before the fights. So then the build up came around like the week of. She met me. I want to say shout out Vanessa, John, and Sammy, for helping us get going. We we had a bunch of banners and stuff like that. We kind of painted the building, kind of just were arms open for, not even just, O'Malley itself, but, just UFC because, like you guys said, it hasn't been in here in so long. So, like we kind of just hosted them for a little pregame spot before. It was actually, we kind of just expected to be like, some of the main guys like Kyle, Salim, but then, dude, like the night of like, Corinna Kopp was here. Mike Malak was like in the basement, like taking a shit. Like it was like the weirdest night
Doing
ever,
shots,
bro. It was like, it was just like one of those nights that like just like did that like really just happen? It was like probably one of the coolest I think nights that we had here so far.
Also, that night, like he said, it was a wild couple days with the weigh-in and the interviews and stuff like that. But what I want to do is shout out to O'Malley took the win that night, but his family actually came by beforehand. Why are you making that look? He won.
Yeah.
Great fight. He won.
But
His dad specifically and all of his family that came in, they were in before, then they left and came back. Awesome people. His dad was a stand-up guy. I talked to him for like 45 minutes. And then at the end, it was maybe like 2 in the morning. Obviously, we have the doors locked. We're all cleaning up. They were banging on the window. I let them all back in. Like, they dapped him up, gave me a hug. Like, that family, they were awesome. And they were all excited because, he won and stuff like that. But big shout out to them. And it was a great win, I think.
He didn't let us in after the fights.
I avoided you on purpose. I told you to go to the back door.
But that's like the big, like he said, like O'Malley's father coming in, like we we just want any customer, whoever it is, we just want them to feel like it's like a second home for them. Next time, even if it's not a fight, he said he's gonna stop by, come say hello and stuff like that. That's kind of just really what we're trying to go with this brand and stuff like that. It's just pizza and kind of like a hangout spot.
What does the future of Halftime Pizza look like in history?
My head spins thinking about it all the time. But one thing my dad never did, and I see why for so many reasons, is I would he never expanded, which is something we've all talked about that we definitely really want to try to get into, if it's a franchise model or just like a second store or whatever the case is. But I see why he didn't get into it, because it's like I can't even imagine dealing with, like, we deal with this every single night. I can't even imagine like 2, 3 or having to deal with like another place like this, because if you've worked in the restaurant industry, I think you know what I'm talking about. But it's just not for the birds. It's long hours, no weekends, high stress level, and stuff like that.
How come you look angry every time you bite into that pizza?
I don't think
I
I'm
wish
angry.
you could zoom in on the camera. That
we
second
will.
bite you took
I
on
will.
that pizza.
We
I'll
will.
zoom in.
Zoom in.
Instant
You
replay.
look angry.
I looked angry.
Jack's coming.
I know you love the pizza.
Jack's coming to train to make pizzas tomorrow, right? For the
Yeah.
Bruins game.
I guess
All
so.
hands on deck. Friday night, be here. Miami, opening night for the Celtics.
We're doing a giveaway for that. We announced it, I guess, yesterday.
When this goes live, it'll already be done.
Yeah, we gave away a ticket.
Yeah, we do giveaways too. It's like that. That's the stuff we love doing too. Just giving back, to whatever. I know you guys have something great going on here too. So that's really cool to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll do our fair share of giveaways as well. Celtics games at times we did last year, plenty of games. We'll do like a trivia, standing outside the garden or something. But that's, like you said, we always try to give back. It's fun,
You wouldn't be here without the fans and everything. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
it's great.
What's been the busiest night in you guys' memory for?
I'd
For them,
have to say it was game 4 or 6 of the finals. I'm not kidding you. I remember sitting I was next to Paul behind the register. I think I was pouring beers or just running around. And I just remember telling him, or looking up, and we both looked at each other like, you couldn't move. And I was just like, I've never seen it this busy. That was probably for me.
That's
Finals.
up there with that pub crawl day because
Oh,
we
the
didn't
pub crawl, yeah.
expect it, and it started at like 10 a.m. and of course by 1 p.m., 2 p.m. people are blackout drunk, so it's hilarious, and we're running around. I couldn't even get up behind the counter, so I literally was like jumping over the counter, and he's walking through the back carrying like cheese, and he's looking at me jump over the counter. The other thing too is we do a lot of it's a company called World Strides. Groups of kids, 6th, 7th, 8th graders from all over the country. We actually I think out of the U.S., we were ranked 2 or 3 last year. Kids come in for a pizza party. They're in and out the door. It's a pizza party, wings, sodas, French fries, and stuff like that. But some of these groups of kids will come in 75 or 100 is the reservations made for, and we got to juggle them with like a Bruins night. So there was a couple times we had like a big event in the afternoon. Then we had a group of kids, 100 kids, coming at like 6 o'clock, and then we had a huge Bruins game that night. Got playoffs, so it was a Friday night. So just like the fast pace is like you flipping, cleaning the tables, get them all out, and make sure, number one, everyone has enjoyed their food, enjoyed their pizza, got a cold beer, and everyone was safe walking out on these streets. Like getting 100 kids out of here with a Bruins game on a Friday night, we have the bus pull up a certain way, escort them all out because we are responsible for them all. But we've had some crazy nights, push it to the limits, but we're still here, and we've always got it done. So,
what's it like on Anchor when the Bruins play a matinee and the Celtics are on that night? Those days must be
talk
brutal.
about that. We forgot about that too.
I know. Sometimes
The doubleheader, we call it.
Yeah, it's like probably like they do it like 2 or 3 times for the year, and it's long.
I think
days.
I don't know. We were just expecting. We knew we were going to be busy, but I think like I was like my mind was just because my mind goes so crazy. I think I looked at him and I was like, wait, what happens if they go to overtime or they go to a second overtime? Then they got to break down the court and all these fans are going to be here. I was like, what if they fuck it up over there? How's it going to affect us? Like our heads were spinning. I was thinking like every possible scenario. He's literally like, Lou, go sit down and chill for a second because you're making me fucking nervous too.
Yeah, no, the Garden does a really good job with it. But those days are fun though, because it's usually the Bruins 1 o'clock crowd. They get everyone all fired up before, and then Celtics right after. So usually hopefully a double win, for both teams, and kind of just the whole area. That's the one thing we love seeing too, because like when the Bruins or Celtics game lose, I mean you can just tell everyone on their faces, just everyone's just miserable, rushing to get out of here, or they're taking it on us after the game and stuff like that. So. Those doubleheaders, they're fun to say the least.
Awesome. Well,
Great.
Also, I do want to say something too. When we get busy like that, some of the guys that have been here with his dad, we got 15 years, 10 years, maybe more. A couple of other guys too. When it comes to making those pizzas, they can crank them out. So, Saul, Gio, Abdul.
Yeah, big shout out to all the guys, behind the operations. Without them, we would be calling
crank out a rack
down,
of 150, 200 pizzas, and they're just phenomenal, and it's nonstop. Like these guys, they'll go home.
Yeah.
You got semolina and flour in your shirt. It's in your socks.
Pizza
I
sauce
actually have it in
all
my
over
pockets right now. You got sauce everywhere, but big shout out to all the guys. Loyalty and hard working. It's amazing.
awesome. Well, I think
Cool.
that
Yeah,
I think that we
great.
touched upon everything that we wanted to, unless there's anything else that
I
you
gotta
guys-
cut this short, guys. I gotta go attend that catering order that we have.
Go
No,
ahead.
it's
Hey Lou,
perfect
thanks
timing.
for hopping on. I think we're gonna be wrapping up
Stay out of
anyways.
trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try. You too. Stino, Matt, thank you very much for letting us come into your spot today, for feeding us and
Yeah.
hopping on our pod. We got some great stories from you guys.
No, thank
always
you,
love coming
Thank
here.
you for having us, and
Yeah.
looking, if you guys want to come by again, we're always here.